Welcome. This is Justice Forum, and your host, Tatiana Grace McDaniel, lyriccess MC. I'm here to talk about socialism, corruption, globalism. The fact that we do not have a United States. The fact that Farrakhan, who is BLM, Black Panther, Jew hater, believes that he's Black Jesus and owns Israel, and that Black people are the real Israelites, while professing Muslim, Arab faith, when Abraham and Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Moses were Hebrews. And Yeshua, born in Bethlehem, Jesus, could not be anywhere further from South Africa. South Africa is far from North Africa that enslaved the Hebrew slaves that are not Black. In fact, Egypt is on the Mediterranean, and they look like a metropolis of people. Many of them look Mediterranean in appearance. Now, Farrakhan will argue that fact and say that that is true, but so then, if his idea and his theory of all of these sort of Europeans coming in a Roman Empire generation of 80 BC, BC 80, whatever, and being Egypt and being the white people of the Middle East. This is what he's inferring, which is complete preposterousness. Because he's trying to pump the Black Lives Matters. He's trying to say only Black people were enslaved from the United States that was, had a rulership of the Rothschild family that are Jews and enslaved Black people to pick cotton in the Louisiana, Atlanta merchant of slavery days. Now, he may have some accuracy on the Rothschilds being in the United States and owning slaves, but he's not talking about the fact that the KKK, white Masons of supremacy, were putting the same burning cross on Black people's lawns that they were putting on Jews that look like white people. Jews have endured hate crimes ever since the United States, and certainly thereafter World War II. Where were all the Black dead bodies laying naked on top of all the white dead bodies that were the real Jews, the real Hebrews, holocausted, enslaved, raped, killed during World War II? Yeah, you won't see that. In fact, Bavarian and Germany made this connection with the Empire of Egypt, to which Beyonce and Jay-Z and all the Black supporters of Farrakhan worship Egypt. The same Egypt that he is confusing people with and saying that, oh, these people, they're a whitewashed race that enslaved the real Israelites that are the Black people, the chosen people. Because he's demented and he's a liar, and he wants Black people to have the chosen people of Israel title, because he wants to confirm that the Black people should receive the reparations from being enslaved in the 1800s, to which the Civil War in Lincoln in the 1800s abolished slavery with Amendment 13, to which black people reinvented slavery with black magic voodoo in the millennial, to make a lawless team game made from terrorizing and enslaving me, a multiracial DNA, Jewish Israeli DNA, Native Indian Iroquois DNA, and my brother grew up on a reservation, Mohawk, and black DNA, and super whitey DNA. Lawless team game made from terrorizing me because I'm a lawful whistleblower against MK Ultra Voodoo, FCC TV satellite spy breach, espionage, ELF mind control and radiation, cell towers that are cancer causing, and frequency flyers, and psychological warfare, and a bastard fusion military cop in a train, in a caboose, on F Street in Davis, California, that does mind control, witchcraft, voodoo on me. The game started in Davis, California, the millennial team game, after I was brutalized for risking my life for my black ex-boyfriend, Brenton James, during Davis police brutality, racial profiling, after I reported cops, druggie, murderer, and rapist family that were my neighbors, related to racist P.D. Figueroa, sued from attorney Burris for beating a black man. Yet Burris won't defend my rights because he's a racist and he looks at people's skin, and because of the movement. Okay? The movement that has used me, I'm the it that they use in the room of the brick wall metaphor, because they made me a refugee in my own country. My own country. There's so much that this world don't know about the history of the United States. But Farrakhan trying to school people with deception and Black Lives Matter, that is a total hoax. They say on one hand, let's defund the cops, and on the other hand, they support the Figueroa's family to chase after my music dreams, because the Figueroa's drug family are friends with my abusive ex, retired NFL Raider Lester Hayes, and he is a significant part of the lawless team game. And the Figueroas have media family of Good Day Sacramento and CBS Sacramento Media, and they're connect friends of KCRA3, Leticia Ordez, married to DOJ, Rick Baeza, whose relative is David Lara on Sacramento Megan's Law, and David Lara was a social worker that participated abusing my beloved stepfather that had to go to Davis Convalescent. They abused him, harassed him, put Nazi sweatshirts on him with white supremacist emblems of anti-Semitic. They put dinosaur shirts on him. They put a beast mode shirt that had an elephant on it. They stole all of his clothes, all of his soft blankets. They never changed him. He had dementia. They put his name on pink paper with arrows leading to his room so that they could annihilate his privacy and safety if anybody wanted to walk in and hurt him. They terrorized him. And then they connected him with a black guy in his room, an old guy that would turn up the volume on the TV loud. His family was put on a FaceTime YouTube while they were trying to get the room with my stepfather because of the lawless team game. This guy was harassing to my stepfather, and he died the night of messing with my stepfather. And my stepfather went over to him and yanked out his catheter from his dirty ass ding dong because he was torturing my stepfather. And they killed him. And then they mocked his death on Good Day Sacramento Media. Sacramento media related to the Figueroas, and the Figueroas related to convicted murderers, Enrique and Jesus Campos, that killed a Jewish woman and a black teen from Woodland, California. And their families chase after my music dreams. And the Figueroas are friends with a criminal capital employee that put an illegal restrainer against my free speech after I reported the capital employee's child abuse crimes and referenced an SNL skit referencing the capital employee as a pedophile. And that capital employee seeks to cover my rapist perpetrators reported on Megan's Law. Rapist Pierre Warner, who is black, and child fingers rapist Gina Denise Pickett Prince. Gina has cop friends from high school. We've lived in Davis for many years. Gina raped me when I was in elementary school, and Gina was in high school. Gina's LGBTQ daughter is a firefighter, Nicole Herrera, who's gay because of Gina, and Nicole's gay nanny aunt, Elaine, that tickled and fondled and kissed Nicole. And Elaine is married to a transgender, Liz DeRock. And Nicole's gay friends that were druggies, Manning, Cherie Peltier, Sandy and Beth Blades, Charles and Mike Campbell, some of them were gay, Cherie, and drug trafficking with the Figueroas and the Ponces, they're all related. And friends of the Capitol employee who had a drug-infested family and a DUI history and lied to Dan Walk, the judge, in Woodland, California. Recently, the Capitol employee's daughter got in a car accident from a DUI. Isn't that irony? The Capitol employee that seeks to cover my rapist perpetrators and lies about everything has terrorized me in my community for years, trying to cover all of her riffraff connected to the media that harass me and lie about me. They created the team game because I'm a lawful whistleblower against organized crime, against pedogate, against drug trafficking. Pedogate goes all the way back to, celebrities, Colbert, Bill Clinton, Mike Tyson, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Johnson, Tom Brady. They're covering all of them. And they only select some to take down so that they can control the narrative, so that they won't look guilty while they're covering all the other celebrities that they've been covering. So they'll take down the R. Kelly and they'll take down the Bill Cosby. Kobe Bryant, they made a legend. Mike Tyson went to prison for raping a teenager that was in the beauty pageant that Donald Trump was a part of. She was 18 years old. He raped her. And he went to prison for 6 years. Now they are allowing him to reestablish his celebrity dome and make him legend with Jamie Foxx doing a biopic movie on him and letting him go back into the boxing arena and fight and making tons of money on HBO. Why are they allowing that? He should be on Megan's Law. He's married. He has little children. He should not be anywhere near children and women. He lives in a wealthy neighborhood where everybody has access to know that he has a history of rape, raping a teenager, that he went to prison for years for. But because of the BLM socialist movement, they want to make sure that all black people are innocent. And they want to pump that only black people are being brutalized from cops. When if you have a brain, you know that that's not possible. Black people are the most sought after billionaires in the United States in the millennial. And many of them own the media. And Obama, when he got into office, He created Sharia law. Obama is a Muslim. And Farrakhan is a Muslim that pretends to be a Hebrew Jew, Christian, when he professes being a Jew hater and a Muslim, trying to take the birthright of the real Israelis and saying that the black people are the real Israelis and the chosen people. How is that possible? Just because he doesn't like the Rothschild organization? When the same white supremacists that he hates so much were lighting fires to both white-looking Jews from the Middle East as they were to the black people during the times of slavery and right thereafter, during the 1960s and right before Black Panther movement, and where the KKK was very prevalent. Did you know that the KKK was originated in Portugal? And they brought that down. And that the Spaniards stole Buffalo Soldier and enslaved him and other slaves in the Louisiana, Atlanta merchant of slavery. And then the Spaniards migrated to Central and South America and created Latin America from raping and pillaging the native Indians that lived there and colonizing with them. That is the real history. And did you know that it wasn't only black people that were enslaved? Native Indians were enslaved, and some Irish people were enslaved. Because when other white races, European races, came to the United States, some of them owned Irish people. Irish people were very persecuted people from England. And they were owned. Some of them were owned as slaves for a short period of time. And then, of course, women of various races were enslaved during that time of slavery and picking cotton. Which the black people have the audacity to even go there when they've participated and navigated a lawless team game from terrorizing me and enslaving me and using me. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk about here is that they not only made the lawless team game made from terrorizing me because I'm a lawful whistleblower, survivor of rape, incest rape, NFL abuse from Lester Hayes that I dated for 2 years, and he was violent with me during sex, right after I survived police brutality and broke up with my loser boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, Brenton James, who befriended my riffraff neighbors related to the Figueroas and the Zunigas, because he's a coward and he wanted to be able to freely go in and out of Davis and mingle with people. And ironically, get this, he ended up going to prison years later and being tasered and brutalized just like I was, because he fought a light rail cop for his brother's sake. And they put his ass in prison for 7 years. Isn't that irony? While I've endured 14 years of being blacklisted and terrorized for risking my life for him. And then the lawless team game made because the Figueroas and the Zunigas and Lester Hayes and all their connections with the media and quite honestly, the Illuminati. Their voodoo eye, their pyramid pharaoh worship that has nothing to do with Hebrew chosen people. Okay? The black people that are pretending to be Israelites are pharaohs. Okay? They believe in the Eye of Ra. Oprah Winfrey, she allowed her Sierra Leone students to be raped from her staff because of pedogate. You don't think her eyes saw that coming? They don't care. But they pretend to. And then now they're pretending to care about mental illness. Oprah Winfrey's doing this whole thing with, Prince Harry. There's so much I can say about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and how they've completely disrupted the monarchy that helped create the United States. Now, granted, the monarchy has tons of corruption. That's their butterfly code. That even Beyonce, who is mixed, and Mariah Carey, mixed, they use that monarchy butterfly code. It's a symbol. They all believe in blood sacrifice. They believe in, all sorts of witchcraft, and, that goes all the way back to this lizard Illuminati cult membership of alienism, of third eye Ra. Well, that same third eye where black people like to confuse people and say, oh, those lizard people, they're Caucasians. Yeah, well, they're also pyramid worshiping black people that brag about pumping the pyramid and being in the billionaires club and supporting Farrakhan, whom is a liar. Now, he may have some right things about the Rothschild, but again, the white people that were supremacists and the KKK members of cops and government and Masons that are now Marxists and support the socialist movement of DACA and illegals taking over the United States and making black and white commoners that were here in the beginning of the United States, their ancestors and those current people, homeless, creating a homeless crisis epidemic because of socialism, because of communism, because of globalism. Why all of a sudden, if we can't take care of our homeless crisis, if our government cannot take care of our homeless crisis, why would they open up the gates and tell all of the illegals that are cartels bringing in billions of dollars into the United States with drug money and billions of dollars into Mexico? Mexico has tons of money. They can take care of their own people. They can take care of their own people. They can create a system that is HUD, that creates welfare programs of EBT and HUD housing and welfare. With the money that they make in the tobacco, tequila, gasoline, tourism, and drug cartel and pharmacy industry, they make a fuck grip of money. And they can take care of their own people. Why would they allow little children to travel alone, knowing that they would be captured and being raped in these little cages in the United States? Raped from older children that are captured, and whoever is the staff, I suppose. And Mexicans in the United States are allowing that shit for the sacrifice of MS-13 gang and drug cartels and a slew of adults to get into the border so that they can get free housing, free medical, free stimulus, free education. All the shit that is not given to the homeless people on the streets. 90% of HUD housing is now occupied from DACA and illegals. When you call and say, there's a discriminating crisis here, I'm an American in America, and I'm not being able to get housing, and I qualify for it. And a criminal capital employee that doesn't even qualify for HUD housing moves to your mother's HUD housing because your mother's manager is related to the Figueroas? That's called massive corruption and organized crime. What they are doing to destroy the United States and bring about New World Order and Scientology and Tom Cruise that believes in population control, right alongside Pedogate and Farrakhan and all of them, they all pretend not to be, but they are all in cahoots. They want war. They want a globalization nation. Barack Obama became president because of the 13 bloodlines of the Illuminati and being related to Bush, who started New World Order because he created the catastrophe of 9/11. The Bush clan and Obama are cousins and in my grandfather's genealogy. And they are also, my grandfather's genealogy also has Halle Berry, Aretha Franklin, the Arnezes, Lucille Ball, and their offspring, and a slew of celebrities that go all the way back traced to the monarchy that they are trying to collapse right now so that they can rebuild the world as a one world order, one nation, under voodoo, with no justice or liberty for all. A communism country, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, trying to create these different types of vaccinations that will ultimately bring about the mark of the beast and people being chipped so that they can be traced to be able to buy and sell anywhere in the world because they want a globalization nation at the cost of numerous lives. They are doing this. They are creating wars in the Middle East right now. They are creating wars with China and Russia because they violate their own people in the United States. And these people, China was our ally for a long time. And then the tariffs happened. And then all kinds of corruption and exposure happened. You know, why do you think Korea and BTS and a bunch of Korean groups became so popular? Because Korea wanted to bomb the United States. Korea is doing what the United States wants to eventually do, which is enslave people. Enslave people. Korea enslaves their own people, their military, and their commoners. When they get captured, they enslave them, they starve them, and if they escape to China, they get sold into sex, slavery, and trafficking. And many of them get killed. And their stories do not get told. Their stories do not get told because the United States wants to be a communist country, and is. They are trying to eliminate free speech. They are trying to control the narrative and terrorize humanity with their corruption. My ongoing lawsuits at San Francisco Federal Court, 18-17440 and 321 CV 00994. My DA documentary, my NFL abuse documentaries, my radio stations, my poetry on my YouTube page. They've allowed Amanda Gorman to chase after my poetry, my modeling, and recite at the Super Bowl because my abusive ex is retired NFL Raider Lester Hayes. Amanda Gorman has Sacramento cop family, and has never experienced civil rights, has never been raped, has never been brutalized from police brutality, knows nothing of civil rights. And they allowed Amanda Gorman. Hassan Minhaj, who hates Jews, a member of the Davis Islamic Racist Center that went national for Jew hating. They are also supportive of the Figueroas, because the Figueroa family are members of the Davis Islamic Racist Center against Jews. They promote a slew of hate crimes, anti-Semitic, in Davis, where if those same hate crimes were against Muslims, people would be talking about that for months. Hassan Minhaj, Camp Country, John Party, Despacito writers, Greta Gerwig, a slew of riffraff, and cops, families getting let into the NFL and the MLB, UCD-PD Arias, a racist cop that stopped me and harassed me. I sued him. They deny my lawsuits in the Sacramento Federal Court, calling them delusional and vexatious so that they can control a narrative and allow the media to lie about me and make conspiracies, giants in the media, and control a narrative of society while calling my lawsuits delusional, because I am a whistleblower against Pedogate, against organized crime, against MK Ultra, against FCC TV satellite spy breach, against millennial slavery from a lawless team gang that was made from terrorizing me. People need to hear the truth. And they need to see that BLM is a hoax. While they may want to defund cops, there's another side to them altogether. And those are the gamers that want money for their business, for the middle class black people to go up in the ranks to become millionaires and billionaires, like numerous black Americans that are from South Africa, nowhere near North Africa, of Egypt, that enslaved the Hebrew slaves, that are not Muslim black people. Never have been. You will never find a history recording of black people from South Africa in Bethlehem or Jerusalem. Farrakhan is a liar.